Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to STR Wrestling Review. I am your host, Saber, and today we will be reviewing last night's episode of Smackdown, which took place on May 16th, 2025. The show started out with Solo Sikoa coming out saying that he's gonna win the Money in the Bank tournament. After rambling on for a while, the conversation finally started to include Jacob Fatu, who said that even without the rest of the bloodline, he still could have gotten his US title. And after this, Solo said, "You know, Jacob, remember the days when you first came in and you always said, 'I love you, Solo!' Well, why don't you say it like that anymore? I want you to say it just like how you said it back then." So instead of saying it like, 'I love you, Solo!' he just said it like, 'Oh, I love you, Solo.' And Solo was like, 'No, that ain't it. You used to say it loud and proud.' Then Solo said, 'Who do you love?' And then LA Knight's music hits, and then he starts attacking the new member of the bloodline, JC. Next up was a Money in the Bank qualifying match. It was versus Alexa Bliss, Mission, and Chelsea Green. So it started off with Mission and Alexa Bliss teaming to go for Chelsea Green. But then they started attacking each other, and eventually Mission got out of the ring, and the rest of the match was mostly Chelsea Green versus Alexa Bliss. And it ended with Alexa Bliss winning the match to go to Money in the Bank. The next match was Fraxium versus DIY. This was an insane match, and even at one point, a member of Fraxium threw one of the members of DIY over the barricade into the fans. And in the end, Fraxium won. And after they won, Motor City Machine Guns came into the ring to beat up DIY. Now, if you haven't seen, after Backlash in the post-show, John Cena slammed R-Truth through a table. And in a backstage moment on yesterday's Smackdown, R-Truth says that even though that happened, he still trusts and believes in Cena. But he also said that the Cena that we're seeing right now isn't the real John Cena. And that he doesn't want to fight him, but the only way that he will is if he knows that the match between R-Truth and Cena will knock back the common sense into Cena. And this means that it's official, we are getting at Saturday night's main event, R-Truth versus John Cena for the title. After that backstage moment, it was Aleister Black versus Carmelo Hayes, who was obviously accompanied by The Miz. Early on in the match, Melo missed. He missed one of his moves, resulting in a big boot to him from Aleister Black. And as the match continued, The Miz kept shouting at Carmelo Hayes, just trying to inspire him, trying to push him but beyond his limits. But this got on the nerves of Carmelo Hayes, so he tried to ignore him. But then this resulted in The Miz beating up Aleister Black during the match, which resulted in a no contest. And then in another backstage moment, we found out that Julia is an official member of the Smackdown roster. Then we hear Drew McIntyre's music. He has an electrifying entrance, and once he finally gets to the ring, he says that how much Damian Priest is obsessed with him. No matter what, he keeps coming back for Drew McIntyre. So that means we're at Saturday night's main event in a cage match. It's going to be the final Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. Then, as Drew McIntyre was walking backstage, he crossed paths with Solo Sikoa and his bloodline. There was an awkward moment between Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre since they had a fatal four-way match the week prior at Backlash. Then we got another Money in the Bank qualifying match. It was Solo Sikoa versus Jimmy Uso versus Rey Fenix. Now this was a really good match. Right away in the beginning, Rey Fenix and Jimmy Uso teamed up to clothesline Solo Sikoa over the top rope. After they clotheslined him, a majority of the match was Jimmy Uso versus Rey Fenix. But then, unfortunately, in the end, Solo Sikoa pinned Rey Fenix for the win. And this was really unfortunate because if it was up to me, I would have made Rey Fenix win. Once the match ended, then we hear LA Knight's music again. He came to attack Solo, Jacob Fatu, and JC. Then Nick Aldis comes out and says, if you wanna fight him, then I'll let it happen. So we got to see JC in his debut versus LA Knight. Now, I'm gonna be honest, when the match started, it wasn't the best match. But then as it continued and LA Knight took over, then it got a lot better. But then, after a bit more fighting, the match wasn't just being carried by LA Knight. They were both equally doing their part in the match. And it ended in JC winning. And lastly, for the main event, it was Nia Jax versus Tiffany Stratton. And early on in the match, Naomi's music hit. She had a steel chair and was ready to attack. But then, right before she got into the ring, Jade's music hit. And then they started fighting in the audience, and then the focus went back onto the match. Now, again, I didn't think this match was going to be too good, but it was historical. Now, one of the craziest things that happened was Nia Jax was the first person to kick out of the prettiest moonsault ever. It also had moments where Nia Jax sent Tiffany Stratton through the announcer's table. Then, when Tiffany fights back, Nia Jax has had enough, so she grabs her championship, tries to leave, but the ref won't let her. So she grabs the chair that Naomi left, tries to hit Tiffany with it, but Tiffany Stratton drop kicks it into her face, making her win. Now, even if you did watch that match, you may have missed it that the drop kick to her face with the chair actually caused her to bleed, and there was a lot of blood. That was my review of May 16th, 2025's episode of Friday Night Smackdown. You have been watching STR Wrestling Review. I am your host, Saber. You should go subscribe if you want to see more weekly videos of the reviews. You can even go follow me on Instagram to see what I'm up to. And see you next time, everyone.